Coming out of the nightmare abyss of the piney woods of East Texas, the Random Horror Show, the best in commentary and reviews in horror, sci-fi, fantasy, cult classics, and the obscure from film, television shows, and literature. Join our horror hostess, Keisha Lacey, as she is scary, but random, horrific, but funny. Last but not least, she will chill you to the bone.
Welcome back to the Random Horror Show. I am your horror hostess, Keisha Lacey, bringing it up, spicing it up, usually how I usually do it in horror, sci-fi, fantasy, cult classics, and the obscure, in movies, television shows, literature, and sprinkle in our guest or two. Thank you so much for joining me for this review that literally shocked the shit out of my ass because I thought horror had a slump until this movie. This movie right here has changed my mind, has gave me hope of 2024. If you've not heard of my review about what the fuck in horror of this year, please do go check that out. And thank you all for joining me and listening to just me just commentating, just being silly and random as usual. And the movie I'm going to be doing my review on, I'm going to have so much I want to have so much fun talking about this. Can I talk about this under 20 minutes? I don't know. But the movie I'm going to be reviewing, which really just almost made me throw up, is The Substance. It is the science fiction horror film that stars Demi Moore and Dennis Quaid and also Margaret Qualley, who happens to be the daughter of Andy McDowell. Oh boy, this movie right here is nothing but straight craziness of body horror. So many 80s movies that you have literally have seen in the past. I'm talking about I've seen Reanimator, I've seen Evil Dead 2, Carrie, The Shining, you name it. I mean, so much body horror gore from Cronenberg's The Fly to this really yucky movie that I sing, and y'all know it. If y'all have not watched it, do watch it. I gave it a chance and I couldn't stomach it. Of Society, real campy, crazy, body horror movie that I watched, and I'm not a big fan of body horror. Thank you so much for David Cronenberg, and trips me out that I had that moment with my grandmother when we watched The Fly with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. That's such a good one. And I powered through that movie, but I was literally sick to my stomach. But my grandmother, who was still living at the time, she was just all entranced by the transformation of, Jeff Goldblum's character, the gross body horror. It was so disgusting. And I watched this as a kid. I mean, I loved it. I still love this movie. But when I watched it when I got older, I started getting sick because I was like, I'm out, I'm out. When I watch Society, I'm out with this body horror shit. You know what I'm saying? But The Substance, I side eyed it a little bit because I was not prepared. And I don't think anybody was prepared for how just this movie just took it to way beyond of like what you thought it could be, but it can be what it was. I loved it. It was just fun. It was entertaining. It was visual, very beautifully visual. And the director, Coraline Fagard, I mean, she really literally packed a punch in this film. It is a feminist film, but who gives a damn if it's feminist or not, but baby, this is really dealing with a lot of society things that we see, especially on social media, to like people getting plastic surgery. Them BBLs are hurting you, girl, to so many people that have had plastic surgery. We know a lot of them. We know a lot of people that get the nip and tuck and everything. And I'm going to say this right here. I'm not a person that's going to scold you for getting nips and tucks, plastic surgery, and everything else. I just wish that be careful for y'all to be careful with this because it's a life or death situation. I understand it's all about feeling good. Confidence and things like that. Some things are wrong. You feel like there's so much wrong with your body and everything. And let's go ahead and dive into this film. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm going to stick to like 15, 20 minutes on this shit. But let's go ahead and dive in. There is like no type of like title card, no kind of just actors or nothing like that. The words and shit just to open up the credit scene. There is nothing. So when you see this egg and then you see this syringe filled up with the green stuff, the substance, you see this egg dividing out to be the same egg, giving you, like I said, that Herbert West. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be breaking the pencils and shit. This is my serum. It's like that. It's like that. It's like it takes you there. So when you have something like that where you have no type of title card, no kind of like, anything of the actors who's playing this film, you just boom right into it right there. You know this is going to be a bad motherfucker right here. So it takes us into this scene where we see a star. They're getting it all ready, just like a Hollywood Walk of Fame. And the main character's name is Elizabeth Sparkle. Da 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 da. So all through this, where you see Elizabeth Sparkle's star, shiny, brand new, sparkling on that sidewalk, and we see the deterioration of the star. There's cracks, there's crevices. There's a guy that loses his whole damn food, on her star. I'm just like, damn, sir, can you hold on to your shit? So we are introduced to Elizabeth, and she is doing her show. She's really looking great. Demi Moore looks fabulous for 61. Child, that bodysuit that she had on, baby, I was like, okay, I need that bodysuit for Halloween. Lord have mercy. Cute, cute, cute. Seriously cute. So she's done with her taping of her aerobic, show. Everybody's like, great job, you know what I'm saying? And so if you look in the hallway, it is red, very bright blood red. This is literally telling you something right here. I'm telling you, the visuals are breathtaking. The cinematography is like on point. The pacing is like the shit right here. For 2 hours, yeah, that pacing better be bombed and a motherfucker and everything, because you're gonna lose my interest for 2 hours. But this movie did not lose my interest whatsoever. So you see all of her pictures from the time she started to the time of now. She looks fabulous, you know what I'm saying? So she had to go use the bathroom, ladies' bathroom, looking all trenched out and everything, all cracked out and stuff. And I was just like, that's some typical shit right there. So she's like, you know what? I'm going to run into the men's restroom. And that's something that a lot of women do, like, especially there's a long ass line. There wasn't no long ass line, but the bathroom was kind of like out of order and fucked up. So she goes in to use the restroom. Her producer, boss, oh my God, played by Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid did a damn good job of playing Harvey. and he's in the bathroom. He's like talking and pissing at the same time. He's multitasking and everything, his dick and the phone and stuff like that. Very visual, if you can catch my drift right there. And he starts to talk about how Elizabeth needs to be canned. She's so super old, and he needs somebody hot and fresh and sexy between 18 and 30 years old. Okay, then, have we ever heard some shit like this before? So, this news has really devastated her while she was in the bathroom. She was not even supposed to know, but from that interaction of her going to use the restroom and then just hiding in the restroom because he's in there, she is literally heartbroken. So she can't. She's processing this news and everything. Um, to the scene of, oh my god, this is so fucking disgusting, of Dennis Quaid eating, and they do this really nasty close up. This close up was so disgusting. I was eating my food and I almost threw up. This is how bad that like scene was. It was so great, but it was so disgusting. You had people walking out on this scene because it was just so gross. I wasn't about to walk out, but I was about to throw up. And he's talking and he's just just going like a million miles an hour. You can see him just taking the prawns and ripping their heads off. He's smashing them in his mouth like a fucking caveman. I mean, this dude literally has zero dinner etiquette skills. I mean, the juice, the slop, the sauce was all over his fingers like a freaking toddler. This man was eating like a toddler. I'm like, for somebody to fire somebody because they're old, but look at your ass, sir, and you called her old? Bitch, you old too. I was like hot as fuck and everything because I was like, no, the hell you did. And by the way, that role was supposed to be played by Ray Liotta. And sadly, Ray Liotta passed away when he got done filming Cocaine Bear. Even premiered, and that role was going to go to him. But his unfortunate passing, it went to Dennis Quaid. And Dennis Quaid did a fabulous job. And he was just keeping that momentum as this really greasy, grimy, disgusting, just a chauvinistic nasty ass dude. And check out the fucking tar on his teeth. And I was like, you got to be kidding me right here. Oh my god, because this man smokes like at least about like goddamn 5 cigarettes packs a day, and just the nasty close up of his teeth. And I was just like, I'm disgusted. And I'm a smoker too, okay? But you don't see that shit on my goddamn teeth because I take care of myself. Hint, hint, hint. Some of the things that, some men think they're the shit, especially him, because he's wearing all these shiny bullshit ass suits and stuff. And if you have not peeped those boots that he had on, and I was sitting there, had my movie glasses on, that the boots that he had are actually the boots that was made specifically for the cast of Godzilla. And I was like, wait a minute, I've seen those boots before. It's very brief. You see him walking in and out of the office. But when I seen those boots, I said, those are the Godzilla boots that was made for the cast of Godzilla minus one. They wore it for the premiere of the of Godzilla minus one. And I was like, damn, those boots was like at least about like $600 to $700 to $800. And I was like, damn, if I had the damn money, I would have bought those boots. And those boots sold the fuck out. So he lets her know that she is canned, and she's just sitting there, just like taking it in. She's disgusted too by his nasty ass toddler eating habits. And then he just basically just ignores her. Oh, yeah, da, da, da. And then he sees somebody, and he's like talking, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for this woman. Well, she's still trying to process this, and she gets in a car wreck. Guess what? It's her birthday also. So yeah, happy birthday to me. I got in a car wreck. Happy birthday to me. I just got canned from my show. What the fudge? So she goes and she gets examined by the doctor. That freaking conversation was so damn awkward because I'm just thinking to myself, this is one of the things that a lot of women don't want to go to male doctors because of that shit right there of dismissing her feelings and dismissing her comfort and her pain. Yes, she got hit by a car, dude, and you're talking like that to her. She was still stunned from this car accident. She's stunned from like the whole situation of what's going on. And again, it's her birthday. Well, the nurse guy that was with him, he comes back and he examines her spine and tells her that she's perfect. He gives her a card. He was just like, yeah, you're perfect. She was like, oh, okay, then shit. So she walks out. She has this bomb ass yellow coat. This is all through the film. She's wearing this yellow coat. It's so cute, but baby, she has these fits. The fits are fitting. So this guy comes up. He was like, hey, you are the most beautiful woman in the whole wide world. He still thinks she's gorgeous, and he gives her, his number. And that was the only thing that felt good for her, because despite all this bullshit that was happening, and just one day that this one person that went to high school with her, and he was just chopping it up with her. He was just still like start like studied. He was just dazed because he finally, catches up with Elizabeth Sparkle. So Elizabeth, she goes home, she's just like chilling, and then it gets to the point, it's just so devastating to her. She's in a very vulnerable state. And if you notice that she's alone, she really doesn't have nobody to talk to. And I was just like, God dang, I feel so bad for this chick and everything. So she gives the call. There's this voice, very mysterious, very short with her. She goes to this nasty ass alley with just trash and just nasty. If you could see the contrast of this damn hallway, it's really gross. It's just like in a shady ass part of town. She goes into a room. I just love how you have that dark hallway and the trash is there, and then you walk in and there is this sterilized white room. She uses the card. She is a number. She's 503. And she takes the box with her. It's like a little Amazon package or whatever, like that. And so she is literally in her bathroom. In her bathroom is nothing but sterilized white. You see black lines. Like I said, this is a very visual film. And there is Elizabeth Sparkle standing in the bathroom, butt ass naked, examining herself. She's making decisions. She's like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Is she really that hungry for that, for a new her to like emerge out? What does this shit do? So she injects herself, got the reanimator thing going on, and she just thinks like, oh, this ain't gonna do shit, and then boom, she hits the fucking floor. Baby, what you talking about? That whole ass back split wide open, and here comes a new person coming out of her. This is a shinier, brand new Elizabeth, and she is looking at herself. The eye color is different, and she names herself Sue. Sue, she's like, okay, look at me. Look at how hot I am. I got my perky tits. I got my perky ass, all of that shit. So literally, she just leaves Elizabeth on the floor and she reads the directions, like how everything goes. And of course, there's like 7 days on and 7 days off right there. So Sue goes and she's like, you know what? I'm going to get that audition. So when she goes to get the audition, she is literally hired. And Harvey is just so enamored. He is just like his ED dick with his Hims prescription just got really, really fucking hard. He's like, you know what? The show must go on. So Sue is now the star. Everybody loves Sue. Sue finds this really sexy ass outfit. And like I said, the fits are amazing. Elizabeth's, blue leotard was so fucking freaking hot. As the same as Sue's, like, a leotard was so freaking hot. So she does her little hair up and she's got her little lashes on. Baby, she was giving it. She was giving it. And they have this wonderful show. Sue is now the star. Sue is like, holy shit. But still, Sue was like, you know what? I gotta make sure that to keep this momentum going, that I do the process of just like the substance, like what they told me to do. So whenever she goes and she tells Harvey that, hey, I gotta sick mother I have to take care of. So I'll be back within a week and et cetera, et cetera. And Harvey just deliberately says, hey, I will work with your schedule. It doesn't even matter because you are the star and everything else. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how that shit goes right there. So, matter of time that Sue is now, she's that chick, she's that aerobic, fresh face, very young, hot, sexy. She's got this ego going, she's got this fire going, and she has this robe that has a dragon on the back, and which that tells us that she is the dragon. Oh my gosh, and that says a lot about why she wears this robe, and that's going to be later on and everything because baby, y'all thought old homegirl off a House of Dragons was like that, baby. I don't know about that shit right there. So we have a moment of where Sue is making a crypt, a vault, a crypt for like Elizabeth. So she's like, well, shit, I can't have this old heifer laying on the floor like that. So she's go to sawing and doing screwing and shit like that. Like she Bob Vila. I was like, where she did the Bob Vila skills from? So she's making all this racket, and her next door neighbor comes beating on the door and he's yelling and screaming because Elizabeth, and he looks at Elizabeth like this old chick, because she used to be fine, now she's just old and shit like that, until Sue opens up the door and he changes his tune, and he was like, oh, you can do all the beating all you want to, I'm good with nails and all that shit, and I have such a big hammer. I was like, disgusting. You a nasty ass creep. So he's all up in the damn girl face and stuff, just trying to be just thirsty as hell, y'all. Just thirsty as shit. So she slams the door in his face, which he really does deserve. And he's still talking through the damn door. I was like, oh my gosh. So Sue was like, you know what? I'm finna rearrange this motherfucking ass apartment. So she deliberately takes the huge picture of Elizabeth, which, by the way, is an amazing ass, just a big picture of Elizabeth, like at her prime. And I was just like, you know what? I need to have a picture like that, like in my bedroom or in my living room or something, just that fucking huge. And she is literally like, I'm cleaning you out. She's like, I'm sorry, mama. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't want to make you cry, but I'm not. I'm cleaning up my closet one more time. Yeah, Sue was like that with Elizabeth's stuff. So when Elizabeth came back through, Elizabeth's like, what the heck just happened? This girl just deliberately just rearranged my whole apartment, and Sue was not very happy about this. This really depressed the crap out of Sue because now she's like feeling, okay, I feel this is like a bad idea. So she calls the mystery dude up on the number. She was just like, well, this is Elizabeth. And he was just like, quiet. And he was just like, I don't care. And then she's like, 503. Okay, cool. 503. What's up? And she's like, hey, this lady is literally taking over my life, all this stuff going on. And he reminds her, look, that's actually you You are the same person. Remember, you are the Matrix. You are the original, the blueprint, the OG. You need to make sure that you keep your fresh young self in check, okay? Don't let this fresh new self of you put you all in a tizzy and get your high, you got high blood pressure and get you all like stressed the fuck out, you know what I'm saying? So he let her know, hung up the phone very quick, very brief, he didn't got no time to explain and stuff, but he was literally warning Elizabeth. So Elizabeth was like, you know what? Okay, since this heifer is giving me all kinds of shit, and Elizabeth's like, you know what? I'm finna like do some shit. Elizabeth just goes off the chain. She has took newspapers and put it all over her very beautiful spacious apartment window, which is looking at Sue, because there's a billboard of Sue just staring straight at her. uh, Elizabeth goes into eating a lot of foods. I mean, she is literally depressed. She just don't know what to do, because it's like killing her inside, that this new fresher her, which she feels like it's another person, but it's actually her that's destroying her life. But as the man says, this is you wanted this, so you need to deal with this. Well, anyway, Sue, when she came back, and she, like I said, she is like, oh my gosh, she got so hungry. She got her ego blew up. She was very, very greedy. And what she did was the ultimate of, oh my gosh, there's like the substance that you have to feed your matrix. And she made the matrix of Elizabeth stay in this really long 3 month stasis. And Sue was like, well, fuck that bitch. I'm gonna have the time of her life, because she was so darn popular and so darn like a freaking shining star, sparkle, sparkle with that shit, that she was like, you know what? She was so arrogant with it, she just didn't care. And I was like, Sue, in order for you to be who you are, you have to treat Elizabeth the same as you. And she just didn't do that. And it caused a really damaging effect on Elizabeth's body, especially whenever her finger starts to turn very old. The side effects is irreversible. This causes Elizabeth to really do some damage control, emotional damage, on Sue. And Sue was literally pissed off. So whenever Elizabeth wakes up, Elizabeth is now an old ass woman. She reminded me of that Baba chick off of Drag Me to Hell. If y'all remember that, like when she put that curse on that chick, and that fight scene that she had in the parking lot, in the garage parking lot with her, baby, she had the moves just like her. She put that old grandma outfit on. Oh my gosh, it was just nuts. So she's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this crap. And she goes back and she gets the termination syringe. And she's like, you know what? I'm done. This is ridiculous. I can't stand this. I don't feel at peace at all. So she has a moment to where she feels so much empathy for Sue. She realizes that this is like basically like a part of her that still yearns to be that young starlet, that young Elizabeth Sparkle like she used to be. And that she's seeing like on the flowers that it says give him much love or something like that. And she stops the injection. She puts the IV in her, and Sue revives her. And this time, when Sue looks around and sees the termination syringe, this is where it gets fudged up, dirty, nasty, grimy, and just so much violence in this film because Sue literally turned into the dragon girl, y'all. Sue did a damn kick like she was Melina off of Mortal Kombat. Baby, I thought she was gonna go into that dragon scissor kick like Liu Kang or something. You talking about a fight match against Sue and Elizabeth, which actually is the same damn person. I was like, what in the hell is this shit? This shit right here is so badass. I mean, you talking about a fatality, sugar. A fatality! And I'm sitting there hollering, finish her. Baby, I came out of my like Mortal Kombat voice, boo boo. Ooh, Lord Jesus, that was so crazy right there. I was enjoying it. I was so much enjoying it. And I know those people like that was in front of me was like, did she just not say finish her like a Mortal Kombat? And I said fatality. Sue wins. I sure did say that. I sure did. Shit. If anybody wants to come to the movie theater with me, watching a movie and stuff, baby, I keep you fun, keep you laughing with some little ad libs and stuff. But back to what I was saying. So Sue is getting ready for her New Year's Eve filming and she is all ready to go. This is the reason why she did the whole 3 month thing is because this was preparing her for her New Year's, filming. And hmm, since like Miss Sue did a fatality on Elizabeth, killing the main Matrix, uh this heifer teeth start falling out. Baby, when you talking about that tooth fell out, I said, oh my goodness. She went into the bathroom to excuse herself and she was pulling her teeth one by one. And you talking about how deliciously nasty that was. I say, ooh, she looked like a snagger-tooth vampire. She looked like my daddy, because my daddy ain't got no front teeth. And I said, oh, Lord, she looked like my dad now. Snagger-tooth vampire is all I call him, snagger-tooth vampire. So Sue was looking like a snagger-tooth vampire. So she was met, when she got out of the bathroom, she was met by Harvey and all these weird-looking ass old men and shit, like, kind of reminds you of Requiem for a Dream whenever Jennifer Connelly did that job and there's like those old nasty men with the flashlights and dildos and oh 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 it was like those type of men right there how they look. And so Harvey told her, oh, you pretty girls should smile. First of all, she don't have no front teeth. She talking about all I want for Christmas is my two front teeth. Baby, she was looking like homeboy off of Harlem Nights and everything. You know, the one that said, I'm gonna stick this goddamn kid. You know what I'm saying? If y'all watch Harlem Nights, y'all remember that dude? That dude remind me of my dad. The way how he have his eyes bucked and shit. That's how he remind me. She had a snagger tooth just like him and my dad. So she just grinned, didn't show no teeth. And so she ran back to the house and she's just like, what I do, what I do, what I do. And she makes that fatal mistake. The dosage says one use. She is so fucking stupid and so greedy because she felt like, I don't need Elizabeth. Yes, the hell you do. I can do this on my own. Young shit, naivety. So she injects herself with the leftover serum, and baby, what emerged from her was nothing but short of oh holy shit, what the heck done happened to this girl? Baby, she done turned herself to a whole ass creature. A creature! Oh Lord, a creature, creature, creature. I said, my God. And then you had like Demi Moore's face like stuck on her on her back and stuff. Kind of reminds you of like Hellraiser, if you like Hellraiser 3, when you seen like like a Pinhead's face, like on that little statue, and it also gave you like more of like Nightmare on Elm Street. Also, whenever you seen, it was like how Freddy like opens up his shirt, and you see like all the souls of like all oh, what he caught, but it gave me more of like that Hellraiser from Hellraiser 2 of like the faces and stuff, what's your pleasure, sir? From 2 and through Hellraiser 3. It gave me that. I was like, oh my goodness, this is like wild as shit. So she goes and yeah, she makes it to her her little New Year's Eve, and I don't know what type of New Year's Eve this shit is and everything, because it gave me showgirls with all these damn titties and stuff. I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of titties and ass up in this movie and stuff. So, child, she tickled me with the whole I'm finna curl my baby hair and it burnt the hair. And then she went on to like cut the face of Elizabeth and put it on her face. Like how Deadpool in the first movie when he cut out Hugh Jackman's face and he puts it on his face in the first movie, it was like that. And then she had the audacity to put on some lipstick over Elizabeth's lips. Yeah, it was like a straight like Deadpool moment right there. I couldn't do nothing but laugh, and I was like, "Baby, what are you curling? Baby, what are you doing?" So she arrives there. She's like, this is me, which it was her. It was this big blocky letters, and it's like monster like Sue Elizabeth or something like that. I was like, what? Oh my goodness. And everybody starts to call her a freak, and it kind of reminds me of like Carrie, when the pig's blood fell on top of her when she got crowned, and the whole "we all gonna laugh at you," all of that right there. People were booing and hissing, and then it gives you a little bit more of Frankenstein too, because whenever Harvey was in the crowd, in the audience with the old nasty looking ass men, he was like, this is my creation. So you have like this Frankensteinish, moment where he says, this is my creation. It's like, oh snap, we went to Frankenstein up in this sucker. So yeah, it was something. I'm not gonna spoil it for you and everything, but it's very shocking and it shocked the shit out of me. Um, but I'm gonna leave that part for y'all to watch. But yeah, it really I was my mouth dropped when it dropped. That's all I can say. So everybody like attacked her, and she was running down the hall, blood spewing everywhere. Oh my goodness! And she makes it out on the street. This is the part where she's deteriorating. Because everything just went all muck up, and finally, how everything was disintegrated on the Sue Elizabeth monster, and then you see the face of Elizabeth right on her star, and then she starts to see the sparkles. She's smiling, and then she finally disintegrates, and that was the end of the movie. So, what are my final thoughts on this wonderful movie, The Substance? The Substance is one of those great body horror films that I'm going to be purchasing this motherfucker, because not only the music in this, the soundtrack, you got the great visuals. The colors are very vivid, from the red of the walls whenever Elizabeth is walking through seeing her photos, to her coat, which is yellow, and she always wore that yellow coat. Now her outfit does change whenever she gets to this really decrepit looking like Quasimodo, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Gollum, looking ass like person. The special effects of her, Demi Moore putting on those bodysuits as like changing like within the character was like magnifique as it is. And also shout out to Demi Moore of not using a body double, looking fabulous at 61 when she was in the mirror, just nude, just as vulnerable, just like her character. And I was just like literally just very impressed and like clapping because it's just so devastating. It's still a bitch that women still get judged on their bodies, especially you have these red pillared nasty roach motherfuckers talking about women hitting a wall at 30, 25. When you're over 35, you're used up, you're dried up. Hey, I'm 46 years old, and baby, I'm still going. I ain't hit nobody damn wall. But blessings and like so many applauses to like Demi Moore of not using a body double. And I literally do appreciate, that her body was a work of art, but it's also a work of art of horror and sadness and pain. And when you're a woman and you constantly being judged, you're too fat, you're too old, you don't look this part, you have a big nose, your boobs look crazy, your ass is flat, your ass is too big. Well, I know big asses are like really in and stuff, but I'm just like, I'm tired of the big ass movement. I mean, I got a big old booty too and everything because my booty be bootying and stuff, but my booty is natural and because I eat and I'm happy and I'm very confident in my body because when I like accepted my body, how it changes from having children to like getting, older, a young, mature 46-year-old woman, that I appreciate my stretch marks, my like rolls, my cellulite, all of that. I just gained some calf muscles and stuff, and you know what? I never did have any calf muscles, and it also like brings me back how it makes me feel when I was in my 20s, that how much like hard I have like literally worked out for the wrong reasons, trying to look good, trying to impress this guy, but I wasn't trying to like make myself look good and feel good for myself, to take care of my body. And I've have worked out for like at least by off and on for 20 years until I stopped working out in 2021. Now it's just all about my health. And then back to how men saying women hit the wall. And there was a line that Harvey said that women are more fertile and all this before they get 25. And I was just like, whoa, that like blows my mind, that you still have men that have that mindset of going towards younger girls, younger women, 18, 22, 23, and they're in their 40s and 50s and could be their fucking dads and stuff. But I had to tell you the news and everything. Those young ladies right there, that recognize game, they're gonna use you for your money. And I cackle like the swamp witch, like I am, whenever I hear those 40 something, those 50 something, 60-year-old men beyond their years and thinking they cute and everything with their beer guts, they big man boobs, breastfeeding breastises, those big old childbearing hips, there's scraggly teeth, the fucked up hair and the hairline they're trying to hold so dearly to dear life, that they got played by them. And I laugh like the swamp witch that I am because it's funny. It literally is. It's so funny. And then you have some of these weak ass men thinking they haven't hit the wall or whatever, but baby, they done hit the wall by 3 or 4 times. Brick walls, cement blocks, cinder blocks. They have like literally hit the wall, and they have that audacity, just like Harvey had the audacity to say to can Elizabeth because she's gotten so old. And I'm like, Harvey, you have tar, cigarette tar on your teeth. What? You look ghastly with your outfit. You look stupid as hell. Instead of just like saying, hey, Elizabeth, you're doing very great. There's women around your age that just feel like you are like the best thing out there on earth and all of that shit. He could have made so much progress with that, but no, he has to have some young, sexy, hot lady. I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? I was like, this is the craziness that a lot of women, average women, below average women, period, have to hear about their looks and everything else. And then you have like where women who are emulating a lot of beauty standards, and some of them are very, very unattainable beauty standards to look like a certain celebrity or a certain star, all of that. And I see a lot of cookie cutter looking, young ladies out there, and I'm just like, I feel bad for them because it's the self-esteem, the whole instant microwave, gratification that they get from social media. They feel that so much pressure. They have to look like this. They have to get this makeup. They have to get that. And it's so much. It's so much to it. I mean, even it boils down to where you have tweens around 12, 11, 10. They're wearing lashes, they're wearing makeup, looking like grown women. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like these girls do not have much of a childhood because it's just pushed to them to look an adult. It's so sad. It's really, really sad. And I'm all for like women to like stand their ground and accept themselves as beautiful and everything else. But until then, it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But shout out to like Horror Freak. She gives like an amazing review. You can go check her out on YouTube. She does a really amazing job, just talking about the substance. And she's just having a ball with it, just like I'm having a ball, just talking about this movie. There's just so much that's just put into this film that I was like, okay, this one right here is the hope that I was looking for. This is the film that I was looking for that's gonna like literally just save horror films of like 2024. I feel like 2023 was like a really good year for horror, but it's just kind of slumped a little bit like in this year. But do go watch The Substance. It's by Mumby. I feel that Mumby did a great job of like releasing this film. I'm just gonna say like watch out Bloomhouse, because that's some straight, that's some straight boss moves. They pulled a Beyonce on all of us. They literally did. They pulled a Beyonce on a lot of us. um there's so many people that really loved it. There's some people that don't like it. It actually has that same reaction. Like I said, I almost threw up on it. That same reaction, just like The Exorcist. When The Exorcist premiered in 1973, people were walking out. They were fainting. They didn't want to go back to the theater because of like how shocking The Exorcist was. This movie is like has that presence just like The Exorcist. People walking out, people throwing up, people don't want to watch it. That's really good. And that's if you have a movie like that, that means you actually did the damn thing of making this movie. But thank you all for joining me with the substance. I didn't make it for like 20 minutes or whatever like that, but y'all know how I am. You can catch me on my socials on Instagram, Facebook, and now on YouTube. And also, I'm on TikTok. So go ahead and hit up, the Random Horror Show on TikTok, like, share, everything else. I'm just doing some brand new avenue things. Make sure you check out Spooky Horror Read segment this month. We have a Sean Ruffins, Merle David, Spicy Dicey. She's coming up, and also with Matt Michelli. And I might have somebody else special that's gonna drop in, and also watch the interview with RJ Josephs, and also she's available on Spotify and also on my YouTube channel. Really great guest, and you never know which guest I'll be interviewing next and everything else. So, thank you so much for listening, and y'all have a wonderful spooky season. And like I said, do check out my TikTok, my YouTube, and everything else. I am Keisha Lacey, and I'm going to say this after this movie, I did change my hair to blonde, so amazing right there. And this is the Random Horror Show.